like these huge icebergs. We have a lot going on in our minds and our souls and our fears and our emotions, but we only show the world a tiny bit, like an iceberg, of really who we are and really what's going on with us. Part of the purpose of this club is for us to study ourselves and to study these entire icebergs, to study human beings, to study the little human beings that we call our children, to really look underneath the surface, not just on the behavior. Yeah, of course, we came to the club for the first time, kind of wanting to get behavior modification. We wanted to look at their behaviors and their actions. We wanted to change them. We wanted to improve them. We wanted to get them to be better. But one of the number one things I can ever teach you guys, my students, this opportunity of coaching you, is to look underneath the surface and to realize that our struggles that we have, our fights that we have, they're almost never, ever about what they're about, right? To train your mind to look under the surface and ask yourself, what is happening inside of me right now? What is happening inside of my child right now? I want to tell you a couple stories, and I want to invite, for those of you here live, to use the group chat and do something for me and do something for everybody that's watching this. It should be really interesting. In a really kind of brief and concise way, tell in the group chat, when you're ready, a little bit about a recent or a past problem or issue you've had, in your own romantic life, marriage life, or, a struggle you're having in your parenting, co-parenting with your kids. And then tell us all a little bit, what is really, really going on? And I'll give you some examples of what I'm looking for right here, okay? Okay, so here's some real life stories from recent clients that I've talked with, and then I'm going to tell you some recent real life stories about myself. Okay, so the Parents Club now meets 2 times a week. So on the evening edition on, was that just last night? Wednesday night, working with a family who's got a 16-year-old son, and I said, well, how can I help you? And they said, well, our 16-year-old's got a really, really bad attitude. I was like, okay, well, tell me a little about it. So he's got an autistic 10-year-old little brother, and the parents are really struggling with him. He's not keeping up his grades, which he agreed upon. He agreed to get 85% minimum in all his classes, very high. He agreed to do really well with driving and the driving permit and tests and taking the responsibility. And he also agreed to get his butt to school on time. But the dude's just taking long poops in the morning, like a lot of teenagers are, and they're just being lazy McLazersons. He's being mean to his bro. He doesn't want to come to the dinner table. So, all right, that's on the surface. But what's really going on? Now, I don't really know exactly what's going on because I've never met the dude. But if you just listen to this story a little closely, you can hear what could be going on. So here's my guess of some of these things that are really going on. And I do this to try to help you to kind of draw these lines in your brain in the struggles you have. He's 16. He's a man. It wasn't that long ago that 16-year-olds were going to fight for their country, right? They were starting working on the family farm, and they're a part of this village. They're a part of this community. There's a rites of passage that had already occurred. And yeah, he doesn't want to be micromanaged by his parents. He doesn't want to be told when he has to go to school on time. He's okay with being late. He wants to study when he wants to study. He's having a hard time because he's not getting the grades, that he even wanted. He even wants 85, and he's struggling with a 10-year-old because all 10-year-olds are freaking annoying. And yeah, if you have neurodiversity, and that could be an extra challenge, right? And he doesn't want to be forced or scolded to come to the dinner table. He's got power, and he's struggling in how to articulate it, and the parents are struggling in how to share it. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, we've got a sweet 13-year-old girl, and her dad's a CEO, very strong, powerful man. And the man's really working on being gentle with his kids, but he's realizing he's just hitting these tricky spots. He goes up to talk to his daughter about her time on TikTok. And he says, I feel like I handled it really well. And he said X, Y, and Z, and the daughter does what she has a pattern of doing. What does she do? Well, she just shuts down. She stonewalls. She turns away. She avoids. and she ends up like trying to end these conversations. Well, I don't know what's really going on, but we know what could be going on is the daughter is just really struggling with her emotions. She feels intimidated by her dad. She feels unsafe. Maybe one of the buttons got pushed for her, which you can see on this little assessment here is intimacy. I don't like the word overwhelmed because it actually doesn't tell us what people are feeling. Overwhelmed is like if you have a cup full of emotions that actually have names, and then if those emotions get to the brim and they start overflowing, it's called what's being flooded, or you're overwhelmed with emotions, but it actually doesn't tell you what the emotion is. Okay. Recently, some of you have seen me coaching this one family with some issues with toddlers and young kids that are hitting each other, fighting each other, and they're arguing over toys. So on the surface, that's what's happening. But guys, what's really going on? Well, what's going on is that these are human beings that just want what they want. They don't want to share. They want what they want. They just have their selfish, innate desires. And it doesn't feel good when they're playing with a toy and then somebody grabs that out of a hand. And they're having a hard time with understanding human relationships and human power and sharing power and understanding that, how you treat your siblings really matters, and it affects mom and dad's feelings too. On the surface, school refusal is about, hey, what's going on with this kid? Why isn't he refusing school? He hates school. She hates school. They have 50 different reasons why they're not wanting to go to school. But oftentimes, what's underneath the surface is either fear. There's some fears going on. This person is getting a lot of emotions coming up in the school-wide setting, and there's fears, or it could be something with comfort. We all like comfort, but some people like it more than others. And this generation of kids is actually becoming addicted to comfort. So yes, there is a part of it. It's like the dopamine, right? The dopamine addiction. So on the surface, I have clients that I'm helping to break addictions to pornography and to screens which on the surface, it's like, okay, it's like these bad behaviors. You go a little bit deeper. Then it's like pornography or screen addiction. You go a little bit deeper. It's like, okay, well, what specifically are you watching and what's happening to you in your brain when you're watching this show or on this specific app? You keep going deeper and deeper, and there's a reason for everything. So here's some personal reasons, okay? So three personal things that happened to me recently. It's kind of embarrassing to tell you these things because I'm just being honest with you and humble. So short story, they're not very good stories because they're short, because the purpose of this is not to tell the story, but to rather help you guys to look under the surface in your own life. So we recently got a puppy, and so we went to we're trying out a new church in our area, and so we can't leave the puppy at home because it's gonna poop all over the crate or the house. So we took the puppy outside, and the third week of us doing this was just last Sunday. My wife ended up walking the puppy around the parking lot while I kind of stayed in the outside seating area, right? So I feel like I'm trying to be there for her. I feel like I'm being a good partner. I'm being a good dog dad. But, I learned last night that my wife was kind of feeling alone. She's feeling unsupported. But one of the most helpful words that she shared is that she's not feeling pursued. See, this is when the power of words really come in, right? Helping us to really find words, because when I can hear from my wife, Danielle, I don't really feel pursued. I haven't been feeling pursued like I like to. It really helps me to know, because I'm not psychic. What the heck's going on here with Danielle? Is it really about the dog? Why? I told you I was here. I could have walked the dog. I don't know why you were walking away with the dog. But there's always deeper lying under issues. So one of the good things that we did to kind of repair this and talk it out is we just said, this is really good that we're talking about this, because I didn't know. We got to keep talking about these things. So recently, just about 2 nights ago, I go up to one of my oldest daughter's rooms, and I see her ceiling fan is on, and it's driving me freaking nuts because she's leaving the ceiling fan on 24/7. And it's like, what the heck is going on? Why are you always putting the ceiling fan on? Well, my other daughter, she's now taking 45-minute freaking showers. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Well, they don't know this, but my PG&E utility bill is looking at $600-700 a month. And I'm like, what is going on here? Where's all my freaking money going? And it's going up to the 45-minute showers and the ceiling fans. So I go up there and I try to talk to I tried to talk to one of the daughters about it. She says, "Dad, it's hot. It's hot." I was like, "Okay, well, Northern California, open up your windows, girl. Come on, we're trying to save some money here." It's like, well, it's too late. If I come home from school or work, and if the fan's not on, our room's going to be boiling. It'll be too late. So I'm just trying to think to myself, okay, is this a battle that I want to pick, right? Is this a battle that I want to pick with these girls? Well, on one hand, yes, because what is it really about? Well, really, it's about fear. It's about me getting another $700 to $1,000 freaking electricity bill. What the crap? Water bill. And I have feelings too. On the other hand, I think, okay, what's really going on? They want to feel comfortable in their own house, right? This 13-year-old's not going to be taking 45-minute showers forever. It's kind of a typical thing that these kids do at this age. And I just have to think, okay, do I want to sabotage the relationship? Do I want to put the relationship on the line over freaking 45-minute showers? Another little example, I said to my wife, because she's buying $10 goat milk. And I'm like, really, Danielle, do we really need $10 goat milk? And what's really going on here? Well, what's really going on is I'm just like really thinking about money a lot these days. You know, I'm doing a budget on the freaking Google Sheet and I'm looking at where our money's going. And I'm like, this is not good, right? I'm getting emotional. I'm getting afraid. I'm getting motivated. I'm getting passionate. I want my desires to be met. I want to feel in control. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel confident that our budget is going in good places, not to electricity companies are freaking overpriced Californian goat milk farmers, right? It's like, but really what really was going on for her was, you know, she's feeling kind of controlled, right? And I don't blame her. It's like she wants to feel free to be able to buy things that she's passionate about. And she feels good. It's like goat milk, or maybe it was like unpasteurized milk. I don't know, man. You want to know all the latest trends, man? Just find out what's happening in California. Is all this crazy stuff happening out here. So yeah, so remember, it's really not about what it's about. So let me take a breath. Thanks for coming to the Parents Club, everybody, and let's see what people say in the if any. I'll read one or two of these. All right. So I'll just share one of them here. You know, my son on the surface struggled with screens, and I was battling with him every weekend to do schoolwork instead of pleasure screens. Okay, so on the surface, it's about screens, it's about battle, it's about arguing and nagging and screen balance. I was going crazy, but after digging deeper, I found it was my button. My mom neglected me when I was younger because she was addicted to watching soap operas. It's very deep. Yeah, so that's a great example of a mom really just being real with herself and connecting the lines. Thank you for sharing that. That was very, very deep.